And welcome back to the Hot Lap. We are previewing the United States Grand Prix in COTA. Some people say the proper American Grand Prix, the proper United States Grand Prix. Why? Because it's actually a decent track. To be fair, Las Vegas isn't too bad. Miami, lovely place. I guess moving on. So let's talk COTA. Let's talk the United States Grand Prix taking place, in about a week, let's say. So here are the times. Here are the UK times. So add like an hour for Europe, a couple of hours, etc. So practice one, it is a sprint. It is a sprint weekend. So only that one practice session. That's at 5:30 to 6:30 on the 18th. Next up, we've got sprint qualifying. That's at 9:30 starts in the UK. The sprint race is very much going to be 6 till 7 o'clock on in the evening on that Saturday, with qualifying even later, 10 till 11. And then we have the race on at 7 o'clock UK time. Exciting times. So that is the race. Let's remind ourselves, though, of the Drivers' Championship. So Max Verstappen, as you probably know, leading by 331. Second is Lando Norris, not a million miles away. I guess to him it would be, considering if he wants to win the championship, there's 6 rounds left. Next up, Leclerc on 245, Piastri on 237. Then 5th, Carlos Sainz. 6th and 7th are the 2 Mercedes drivers of Hamilton and Russell. 8th, Sergio Perez. 9th, Alonso, and 10th. In 10th, Nico Hülkenberg. How much a Haas going to miss him next year? Only time will tell, I guess. So in the Constructors' Championship, it does look a little different. There isn't Red Bull in the front, and they are still accelerating away at 516 points. Red Bull and 475 to the point, and it's concerning, I think, for Red Bull, to the point where rather than looking ahead at the moment to try and beat McLaren, people are suggesting they need to look behind them to try and stop Ferrari, putting them essentially into 3rd place. I still think, though, there is a world where Red Bull could suddenly win the next few races and then be on top in both championships. Nothing this season is out of the question. Absolutely not. But let's though, have a chat and get on top of the Circuit of Americas, shall we? So here we are. As you can see, it's the wonderful Circuit of the America is behind me. It's the current wallpaper. But let's go on board, shall we? They're using F1 2024. And this is the start-finish straight. Before I get into that, though, let's have a little track map, shall we? That's going to help us. There we go. So this is the Circuit of the Americas. This is our wonderful track guide on board as we now accelerate to turn number 1. It is uphill. You can brake very late. There's normally many different lines going here. And then we go into turn 2. And then it's very much, if you've ever seen Silverstone, it's very much like Silverstone. It's the left, right. It's absolutely brilliant. I'm just turn my camera off there. I mean, I'm very much like the Beckett's, well, the Maggots, Beckett's, and Chapel Complex. Now, it gets a bit more exciting, though, because we're going down the hill, and turn 11 is going to be really, really important. Why? Because it's going to set you up for the easiest overtaking part on the track, because it's the longest straight with DRS. It's the second DRS zone. First one being the start-finish straight. You can go side by side here. You do get the slipstream, and you brake late. It is slightly downhill though, so we've got to be careful. A lot of people going wide. A lot of people mess it up. Now here is the absolute weirdness now. We're in the weird part of the track, these next few corners. It's almost like a go-kart track until we get into the very Turkey-esque last corner. That's like 18, 16, 17 and 18, but it's kind of like one big corner. And then we get to turn 19, one of the easiest turns to get those track limit violations, staying in nice and tight there into the final turn, which is turn 20. Get that nice and right, and then you have a bit of DRS if you're behind within a second of a car to try and overtake him then. So that's essentially the track. This is if you want, this is me. You can't see me at the moment because I'm invisible. Yes, John Cena. Bear with me 2 seconds. There we go. So that's the track guide for COTA, the Circuit of the Americas. But let's have a few interesting stats, as we always do for the Circuit of the Americas. And it joined the calendar in 2012. It was the 6th different host for the United States Grand Prix. Here are all the stats and facts that you might be interested in. The actual length is 5.513 kilometres. As you already know, it's got 20 turns. It's 56 laps. As I said, it's open in 2012. It's held 11 races there. Obviously, the pandemic, for example, was a bit of a no-no there. Also, Charles Leclerc, lap record 2019. And Valtteri Bottas, track record in 2019, the track record of a 132.029, but the lap record of a 136.169. Hamilton has won almost half of the races here, having taken 5 wins in Texas. Lewis and Hamilton are the only drivers to have those back-to-back wins, though. Hamilton holds the record for most consecutive wins, and that's 4 in a row between 2014 and 2017. Verstappen took his 3rd win in a row for 2023. Could he do it here? Absolutely he could. But Kimi Räikkönen and Vettel are the only former winners of the United States Grand Prix not currently on the grid. Now, Mercedes has the most wins at this circuit, and they've always seemed to do well there. Hamilton has finished, I think, 2nd on 2 occasions, potentially looking to win the race even. And so the tightest win margin was Lewis Hamilton in 2012, 0.6, and yes, he was the first winner, passing Sebastian Vettel. The average win margin at COTA is under 5 seconds, so prepare for potentially what could be a very exciting race. 14 different drivers have recorded podium finishes in Texas. Lewis Hamilton has more top 3 finishes here than any other driver, with 9 appearances on the podium. He also stood on the podium in 2023, but as you may or may not know, he got disqualified. Yeah, bit naughty there for Mercedes. Yeah, I mean, we did our breaking news actually, and that's before I even got the camera for YouTube. But there we go. I thought it was all very, very interesting. So let's get into the drivers then, shall we, and how we think they're going to do this weekend, shall we? So let's start from the bottom of the championship then. And we all know who's bottom of the championship because they've scored absolutely no points and not much of a difference. But it's Valtteri Bottas, the man that could still take one of the last seats in Formula 1 for 2025 stake F1. Once again, he needs a good weekend. I don't think... I always say maybe they could, maybe they couldn't. I don't think it's going to happen. Hopefully now. I'm using some kind of reverse psychology for the Bottas fans, and it ultimately does happen. Next up, Logan Sargent is 21st in the championship. Sadly, he's not here for his home Grand Prix. But Zhou Guanyu, just like Valtteri Bottas, I think it's going to need some kind of massive intervention for either of them to get points. They may well, I doubt they'll get out of. It wouldn't Q1. They could. I think one of them could get into Q2. You never know, with penalties, etc. But Colapinto. I still don't think I've got a card for Colapinto, do I? No. Sadly, I don't. But I don't believe I do, which is really bad. I'm so sorry, Colapinto. But I think... Oh, no, I do. Take it back. There he is. There's the handsome man there. I think Colapinto could do quite well. He's giving Alex Albon massive trouble at the moment, which is good, I think, for Alex Albon. We're seeing him finally under some kind of pressure. He's had it easy, really, to be fair, with Logan Sargent, hasn't he? So finally, Alex Albon under some kind of pressure for the United States Grand Prix. Now in 18th, we've got Esteban Ocon. He's currently 18th in the championship, only 5 points, not doing particularly well. Beaten by Gasly by only 3 points. Once again, I'm not really expecting much from Ocon or his teammate. Nor am I expecting too much from Kevin Magnussen. Although, once again, as I mentioned in Singapore, he's unleashed now. He's got no penalty points. He can absolutely go crazy. And there's plenty of chances to go crazy in the, let's be fair, the probably 2 most obvious passing places at Turn 1 and then down that long straight, the back straight for the DRS as well. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be Nico Hülkenberg all the way there. Next up, we've got in 15th is Pierre Gasly, the man that is staying at Alpine. Yeah, once again, there may well be a struggle for points. They'll be ahead of stake, obviously, but I think they're going to need to be a bit lucky, really, to get those points. In 13th, we've got Alexander Albon. I think he'll beat Colapinto, and I think he'll show, because he has to. He has to. I mean, if he doesn't, there's going to be a massive Cheshire Cat smile on Carlos Sainz, thinking I'm going to be number one at Williams, and that's going to do him really good if he wants to leave Williams going forward. But I can't remember if Williams are going to be a really solid team next year. It'd be really interesting to see what happens in 2026, though. But that's an absolutely another conversation altogether. So we've got Yuki Tsunoda. Now, while I've got Yuki Tsunoda, I don't have a card for Liam Lawson. But let's talk about Yuki Tsunoda first. Now, there are now rumours he might take the seat from Checo Perez. Helmut Marko, yep, once again, the general of truthicums. But still, pinch of salt with that one. But Yuki Tsunoda, 12th, I think, once again, points like 9th and 10th could be on the agenda. What's interesting, though, is Liam Lawson is going to join us this weekend for the American Grand Prix. Pressure, I think, will be straight away on Liam Lawson, particularly in America. Why? Because they really like Daniel Ricciardo. Not that I'm saying anyone should blame Liam Lawson for being in there, but I think the press will, because America, they love Daniel, will be maybe a bit too harsh on Liam Lawson. I'm slightly concerned, but I do think, as we've seen before last year, Liam Lawson will. I think he'll show us what he's got as usual. The last 5 races, pressure was just a word for Liam, and I'm sure that's going to be the same here. I'm really excited to see what Liam can do. If he beats Yuki Tsunoda, well, that's going to be a bit embarrassing for him. Could he? Yes. Will he? I think he'll be doing well if he gets near him. I don't think he'll beat him first time out, but you never know. So next up, and the man that is 11th in the championship is Lance Stroll. He could get points. Okay. Next up, we have in 10th position, no less. In 10th. The Haas. Who would have imagined that? Of Nico Hülkenberg. Absolutely amazing. This guy, Audi, have, I think, done an absolute blinder by getting... Yes, I know, we said he's never scored a podium, etc. But would it surprise us if he was in Q3? No. Would it surprise us if he got points? No. In 9th, we have Fernando Alonso. He's doing really well since the signing of Adrian, and I expect him to do well here, albeit the back end of the points I think he's going to be fighting for. So in 8th we have, yes, that man, Sergio Perez. I think if he finishes 8th, if he finishes behind the top 4, now the top 4 teams we're looking at, obviously, like McLaren, Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes, and if he's last in there, it's just not looking good for him at all, is it? Will Mexico be his last race? Potentially. I think at this rate he'll probably go to the end of the season. But I've always said, if you got rid of Daniel Ricciardo, why have you kept Sergio Perez? It doesn't make any sense at all. Let's hope, though, as I keep saying, he proves the doubters wrong. Wouldn't it be great if he got a win here, or even in Mexico? But Mexico's another race. My head says he's probably not going to do very well. My heart says, please, do well. But if I was a betting man, I definitely wouldn't be betting the mortgage on him getting in the top 6. On pace, at the very least. So, next up, we've got George Russell. And even though Mercedes have not scored as many points as they had compared to this time last year, I think Mercedes could be doing well. There's big rumours of a massive update incoming for the USA. They did that last year and they did very well until they got disqualified. So it's going to be interesting. There's only like 19 points between him and Hamilton, and bear in mind he lost 25 of those points getting disqualified from the Belgian Grand Prix. So yeah, and talking about Lewis Hamilton, could he win? Wouldn't it be amazing if he got a win in America? America love him. He's the only man I think that can hold a candle to America's love of Daniel Ricciardo. So I think if they can but they need to absolutely nail the setup and absolutely get that upgrade perfect in the practice, so Hamilton and George are really happy, I think Mercedes could be fighting for that victory. So next up we've got Carlos Sainz. Leclerc's, I can't ever feel, but Leclerc's really outshone him recently. And Carlos Sainz is kind of like, we've all taken a step back from saying how awesome this guy is. He still is awesome. But is that because he's winding down his Ferrari career? I don't really know. So we've got Oscar Piastri. He is currently 4th in the championship. And he's quite close to Leclerc. He's only, like 8 points away from Charles Leclerc. But the big thing is going to be team orders. And it's very contentious between that. But I honestly think if Lando is second, Piastri's first, they are going to swap. The same if it's second and third, they are going to swap. Absolutely no doubt. Until one of them, really, Lando can't mathematically win the Drivers' Championship. Then it will be all go again. So, yeah, I appreciate Oscar Piastri might not be happy about it. But then the argument is, well, you should have done better in the championship early on, I guess, is the argument that McLaren and anyone else could use. So, we are going on to Charles Leclerc. Could he win? Yes. Once again, though, like Mercedes, absolutely have to nail that setup. Absolutely have a almost perfect weekend. I think they've got a chance. Other than that, I do feel it's going to be between Verstappen and the two McLarens. And talking of the other McLaren, the man that's second in the championship with Lando Norris, could he win? Well, him and Verstappen, you've got to go in, I think, as equal favourites to win the United States Grand Prix, pending any funniness going on. And Lando showed us how, in Singapore, even though he had the dominant car, at points he did try his best not to win the race by damaging his front wing. But he's the on-form man. And I can't but feel that maybe, other than Lando himself, it's this man here is maybe the only man that could beat Lando Norris. But I do feel, watch out for that Mercedes upgrade. If it's if it's a good upgrade, everyone else may well be a bit worried. But are they going to do the Mercedes thing of really good in practice and nowhere in qualifying, then a bit better in the race? Let's hope not. Let's truly hope not. So, there we go. Could there be a Hamilton victory? Absolutely there could. Could there be a Verstappen victory? Absolutely. Could one of the McLaren drivers get it? Absolutely. Ferrari? Absolutely. I know. But that's what's so good currently about the current state of Formula One in 2024. It is kind of like a bit of a lottery, but I like it and I'm really happy about it. If you like what you see, please give us a subscribe, give us a like, hit that notification button if you don't want to miss a video. In terms of videos going forward, as I mentioned in my last video, I'm still very much not feeling very well at all. I'm still on the drugs. This will probably be, they haven't helped, so this may well be the last video before we talk about the race. Other than maybe some pre-recorded gaming videos, which might be going out. The next time I see you may well be for the practice or qualifying run for the United States Grand Prix. And if that's the case, please stay safe, have a good week if I don't see you soon. And thank you very much for watching. If you made it to the end, you are a world champion in our eyes. If you made it to the end and you gave a like, you're a double world champion in our eyes. We'll speak to you soon. Thank you.